Hello, welcome to another episode of the Empowered Dentist Podcast. This is Dr. Brad Brayman. On today's podcast, I'd like to talk with you just for a minute about 3 competitive areas with which any business can compete with any other business, whether they're in the same industry or not. Those 3 areas are price, service, and quality. You have to pick 2. If you pick 1, you'll lose. If you pick 3, you'll go bankrupt. Hence, you'll lose. So the only winning combination is to pick 2. So price, service, and quality. If you pick price and service on which you are going to compete, your quality will take a back seat. If you pick service and quality on which you are going to compete, then you can charge whatever prices you want to charge because you're not competing on price. If you pick price and quality, your service will take a back seat. This may all seem a little bit quixotic, but I encourage you, when you are at a place where you can grab a pen and a piece of paper, write these down: price, service, and quality. Pick 2, any 2, doesn't matter, it's up to you. And the third one will take a back seat to those. Now, as a word of caution, if you decide that one of the things on which you are going to compete is price, there is always someone who is willing to do it for less, and it becomes a race to the bottom. It's a very effective way to find yourself out of business. So I highly suggest don't compete on price. There's always someone willing to do it for less. Let me share just a little experience with you that I had recently. We were shopping for new homeowners and car insurance for our home and car, and came down to 2 agencies. Agency 1, let's just call it what it is, Farmers. And another independent agent called Prineville Insurance Company. Got quotes from them both, compared the coverage, apples to apples. Prineville Insurance Company was significantly less. I called Prineville Insurance Company to get signed up, and the friendly receptionist told me, "I'm sorry, the person with whom you need to speak is in meetings all afternoon. They won't be available until tomorrow morning." Now keep in mind, I had just called them to give them my business. Well, that didn't work out too well for them. I hung up the phone after thanking the receptionist for her help, called Farmers Insurance, spent a significant amount more money, and was able to speak with someone immediately. Now, leading up to this decision, I had an inkling this was the way it was going to go, because every time that I called or emailed or stopped by the farmer's office, someone was there, someone answered the phone, they got me to the person with whom I needed to speak, and they answered my questions quickly, effectively, and accurately. When I would call Prineville Insurance, often I'd get their voicemail, and I might get a call back the next day. A couple times I actually got to speak with someone when I called. So, 2 perfect examples. Farmers Insurance is competing on service and quality. They're not competing on price. They were significantly more expensive. Prineville Insurance Company is competing on price. They certainly weren't offering the service, and I have no idea if the quality of the product they offered was the same or different than Farmers. Let's just assume it was equal. But they're competing on price. They lost my business because their service stinks. Now, I've told them this, shared this with the owner, so I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think this sets a really good example. What is it that you want to compete with your competitors. And they're not just dental offices. You decide. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. Enjoy, and here's to a great life.